All right, so get this. We're going deep, deep into Jupiter. But hold on, not the boring textbook stuff. We're talking about the Jupiter that'll make you go, wait, what?
You got some interesting sources, I see.
Oh, absolutely. They just scream, unpack me.
Mm.
We're looking at Jupiter's role in the solar system, the cultural side of Jupiter, and honestly, some stuff that's borderline satirical.
Satirical.
Yeah, like you can't help but laugh when you
Oh.
think about it.
I'm intrigued.
So, okay, Jupiter. It's been woven into, our understanding of the universe for centuries, right?
Oh.
Way before we had telescopes and probes and all that.
Long before we really knew what it was.
Exactly. But I mean, it's not like you need a superpower telescope to see it, right?
Right.
It's blazing bright up there. Even us city folks can see it.
Absolutely.
And the ancients knew this, of course. Like the Chinese, they called it the sleeping star,
Oh, I love that.
right? Because it takes 12 years to orbit the sun. 12 years.
And that 12-year cycle was key. I
Yeah.
mean, think about the Chinese zodiac. It's based on that observation.
Still used today.
Still used today. Makes you wonder, how did they figure that out without any modern technology?
Right. I mean, that was one long-term research project.
Seriously.
And speaking of cycles, Jupiter's the ruler of Sagittarius in astrology.
Yeah, of course.
Full disclosure, I'm a Gemini.
So Mercury's your guy.
Exactly. Mercury's my guy.
Yeah.
But still, it's funny, right, how all this ancient stuff, it still resonates, even when we're sending probes to these actual planets.
It's that human need, isn't it, to connect with the cosmos.
Absolutely.
But speaking of connecting, let's talk about Jupiter's size, because this is where things get really interesting.
Buckle up. It's big, like
Wow.
11 times Earth's diameter, over 1,300 times its volume. I mean, you could stuff over 1,000 Earths inside Jupiter.
Oh, easily.
It's the heavyweight champion, no contest.
Absolutely. But here's the twist. It's mostly gas.
Wait, right?
Yeah, hydrogen and helium, basically a giant swirling cloud.
Okay, so giant size, surprisingly low density.
Exactly. So its mass is only about 300 times Earth's. Well, I mean, that's still 2.5 times heavier than all the other planets in our solar system.
Hold on. All the other planets, everything we know, less than half of Jupiter's mass.
Combined.
That's absurd.
Right, and that mass, it pulls strings, literally. The Sun and Jupiter, they both orbit a point between them because of Jupiter's gravity.
Okay, it's like, imagine a seesaw, right?
Yes.
With a toddler on one end and a monster truck on the other.
Perfect analogy.
Okay, so now I'm picturing Jupiter's weather.
Yeah.
And that monster truck, it suddenly seems kind of tame. The Great Red Spot, right? It's not just a cute name.
Not at all. We're talking about a storm that's been raging for at least 400 years, since Galileo's time.
Since Galileo.
Big enough to swallow multiple Earths.
Multiple Earths. I'm officially feeling very, very small right now.
It's all about perspective, right? But even this monster storm, it's shrinking. It used to fit 4 Earths inside. Now it's down to just 1.3.
So are we watching a storm die? That's older than most countries.
Possibly. Scientists are debating whether it'll fade out completely or if it's basically eternal.
Talk about a long goodbye. And the wind speeds, I mean, don't even get me started. Over 300 kilometers per second. Constantly.
It makes a hurricane look like a gentle breeze. And here's what boggles my mind. Jupiter's wind is predictable.
What? Predictable?
Can you imagine you're a weather person on Jupiter? Folks, more high winds and planet-sized storms, same as yesterday.
Earth's meteorologists would lose their minds.
Completely.
Speaking of things that make you lose your mind, Jupiter's magnetic field, right? Our sources say it's 20,000 times stronger than Earth's.
That's not even a fair fight.
Not even close. What does a magnetic field that's insane even do? Besides, make compasses go haywire.
Well, it shields Jupiter's atmosphere from the solar wind, that constant stream of charged particles from the sun.
Okay, so like Mars, right? Mars lost most of its atmosphere because it has a weak magnetic field.
Exactly.
So Jupiter's got this invisible shield deflecting all that,
Basically.
like a cosmic superpower.
It is. But here's the thing. Earth has a solid iron core, right?
Yeah.
That creates our magnetic field. But Jupiter, it's mostly gas.
So where's all this magnetic oomph coming from?
Right. The leading theory is intense pressure. Deep inside Jupiter, it's so intense that hydrogen actually turns into a metallic fluid, and it's electrically conductive.
Metallic hydrogen, that sounds like something a supervillain would make up.
Doesn't it? But it makes you wonder, right? What if we've got some things wrong about how Earth's core works? Like, what if there's more going on down there than we realize?
See, this is why I love space. It makes everything we think we know seem a little shaky. Speaking of shaky, Jupiter's moons, right? We've got 79 confirmed so far,
79.
led by those famous 4, discovered by Galileo.
Ah, yes, the Galilean moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto.
It's like Jupiter has its own crew of celestial weirdos.
Absolutely.
And they are weird. Like Io is basically a volcanic hellscape, right? Lava fountains shooting hundreds of kilometers high.
It's true. Non-stop eruptions, magma rain, rivers of molten rock. About as hostile as it gets,
I'm going to cross that one off my vacation list.
Good idea.
So are all the moons like fiery doom worlds?
Not at all. Europa, for instance, is an ice world.
Okay, ice world.
But under that ice, scientists think there's a massive liquid ocean.
Wait, an ocean under the ice? How is it, like, warm down there?
That's one of the big questions.
Right.
But it's why Europa's so exciting. It's considered a prime candidate for, finding life beyond Earth.
Alien life.
Well-
Just floating around, hanging out.
Potentially, yes.
So we could have cosmic neighbors right in Jupiter's backyard. That's awesome.
And terrifying.
And terrifying. You know what this makes me think of?
What's that?
All those conspiracy theories, right?
Yeah.
About NASA hiding evidence. Like, what if they found something on Europa and they're just crashing all those probes into Jupiter to cover it up?
That's an interesting thought. And both the Galileo and Juno probes were intentionally crashed into Jupiter's atmosphere at the end of their missions. See? Evidence destroyed. I'm kidding, of course. But why would they do that?
Officially, to prevent contaminating those moons with Earth bacteria. But who knows? Maybe there's a more intriguing reason.
Oh, now you're just teasing me.
Perhaps. But isn't it fun to speculate? Especially when we're talking about a planet as mysterious and awe-inspiring as Jupiter.
It is. And what's even more awe-inspiring? This little nugget from our sources. Jupiter might be the reason Earth even exists.
Ah, yes, the super-Earth theory. The idea is that early in the solar system, there was another planet, way bigger than Earth, orbiting close to the sun.
Wait, there was another planet in our solar system.
That's the theory.
What happened to it? Did it just pack up and leave?
Well, the theory says that Jupiter's gravity, remember that monster truck we talked about? It ripped this super-Earth apart, and its remains eventually formed the inner rocky planets.
Including Earth.
Including Earth. So Jupiter, destroyer of worlds, but also creator. That's a pretty intense resume.
It is. And there's more. Jupiter's gravity also acts like a giant vacuum cleaner, attracting and deflecting asteroids that might otherwise hit Earth.
So Jupiter, our bodyguard, protecting us from space rocks.
Exactly. Without Jupiter, scientists estimate that Earth would be hit by asteroids 1,000 times more often.
1,000 times more. We'd be like a cosmic dartboard. Not in a fun way.
Right.
So Jupiter's the reason we're even here, having this conversation.
It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
It does.
And that's just the beginning.
My head is officially spinning. Giant sizes, crazy weather, moons that sound like science fiction, and Jupiter might be playing planetary billiards with our fate.
And there's so much more to explore.
I can't wait. But for now, let's take a quick breather. We'll be right back with more mind-blowing Jupiter facts.
Back again for more Jupiter. Last time, remember, we were trying to wrap our heads around the idea that Jupiter might be why Earth even exists. Talk about owing someone a favor.
I know, right? It's almost like, well, are we even really in control, in this vast cosmic play?
The cosmic play. I like that.
But speaking of which, we can't forget about those other Galilean moons. We talked about fiery Io and Europa, maybe with life hiding in that ocean. But Ganymede and Callisto, they're part of this Jupiter crew too, right?
Oh, absolutely. We can't leave them out. Ganymede, well, that one's the show-off. It's the largest moon in the entire solar system.
The largest moon in the solar system.
It's even bigger than the planet Mercury.
Wait, hold on. A moon bigger than a planet? That feels wrong somehow.
It's wild, isn't it? And to make it even cooler, Ganymede has its own magnetic field, which is super rare for a moon. And guess what?
What?
Scientists think it might have a hidden ocean, too. Just like Europa.
Okay, hold on. 2 potential ocean worlds around Jupiter, like those odds. Maybe we should send some real estate agents out there.
Huh. Not just yet. But then there's Callisto. Callisto's, well, the quiet one of the bunch. Covered in craters, ancient, probably the oldest of the Galilean moons. And kind of a puzzle because, well, it seems to have a very weak internal structure.
So like the wise old grandparent of the moon family, I mean.
Yeah.
Seen it all, done it all, not impressed by your fancy magnetic fields.
I love that. So true.
But, speaking of things that have seen it all, we got to go back to the Great Red Spot, right? We talked about how it's shrinking. But there's still so much we just don't know about this giant storm.
It really is.
I mean, like, why is it shrinking in the first place?
Uh-huh.
And what makes it red? Is it like space rust?
Huh. Good questions. The red color is still a mystery, though most scientists think it's chemicals. Stuff like sulfur and phosphorus churned up by the storm. They react with sunlight. As for why it's shrinking, well, nobody's really sure.
So maybe changes in Jupiter's atmosphere.
Could be.
Hmm?
Or maybe the storm is just, running out of steam after centuries of raging.
So even cosmic hurricanes, eventually they just fade away.
Eventually.
Kind of a sad thought in a majestic space storm kind of way.
It is. But even as it shrinks, the Great Red Spot reminds us that there are forces out there, forces we barely even understand.
Exactly. Speaking of forces we don't understand, that magnetic field. 20,000 times stronger than Earth's. That's not just powerful, it's like showing off.
Right.
What kind of crazy stuff does that do to anything that gets too close?
Well, for one thing, radiation. Jupiter has these intense radiation belts filled with high-energy particles. They're trapped by the magnetic field. It's a danger zone for spacecraft. Anything living would have a very bad time.
So it's like a stay-away sign, but written in radiation.
Exactly. And these radiation belts are so strong they can actually fry spacecraft electronics.
So a serious concern for future missions
Right.
and any astronauts, if we ever send any out that way. So, maybe crashing those probes was a mercy killing after all. Okay, let's take a break from the hardcore science for a second. What about, how Jupiter has influenced us, Earthlings, I mean? It's not just about the data, is it?
Not at all. It's been a part of our stories, our mythology, for ages. The Romans named Jupiter after, well, their king of the gods, ruler of the heavens and earth.
It makes sense. I mean, it is the brightest thing out there most nights.
Right. And even today, Jupiter pops up in stories all the time. Think about 2001, A Space Odyssey, or Europa Report.
Oh, all those sci-fi stories?
It's a symbol, isn't it? The unknown, the vastness of space, all those mysteries out there.
Absolutely. My brain hurts in the best way possible. We've gone from giant storms to maybe alien moons, and now Jupiter might be our creator and protector all at once. It's a whole space opera happening out there.
And the story isn't over yet. There are some new missions on the horizon.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
The European Space Agency, they have the JUICE mission. That stands for Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer.
Catchy name.
Launching in 2023. It's going to study Ganymede, Callisto, and Europa, looking for, well, signs of habitability and, maybe even life itself.
Hold on. We might actually get answers about alien life soon.
That's huge. What about NASA? Are they getting in on this action too?
For sure. NASA is working on a mission called Europa Clipper, focused specifically on Europa and its, that hidden ocean.
Okay, it feels like we're on the verge of some major breakthroughs here. This is why I love space exploration.
Me too. Every new mission. Who knows what else we'll find out about Jupiter, about its whole system.
Right. This deep dive, I'm telling you, it's blown my mind wide open. Giant size, storms you wouldn't believe, moons that sound like they're straight out of science fiction. And this magnetic field, it's unbelievable. Jupiter never ceases to amaze.
It really doesn't. And the thing is, as we learn more about Jupiter, we're not just learning about, a planet way out there.
It's bigger than that.
It is. We're learning about the potential for life in other places,
Okay.
about how solar systems form, and ultimately about our place in the cosmos. It's all connected.
It is.
Okay, I need a minute to process all this,
Take your time.
but don't go anywhere. Because in the last part of our deep dive, well, we're going to talk about, the bigger picture, how Jupiter fits into the grand scheme of things. All right, we're back. Final part of our Jupiter deep dive. It's been, well, a lot to take in. I mean, we've covered Jupiter's size, the weather, those crazy moons, and the possibility of alien life. Swimming around out there, it's mind-blowing.
We've really gone deep. Ancient myths, those theories that sound straight out of science fiction, even some conspiracy theories. But now, let's zoom out a bit, big picture time. What can Jupiter teach us about, well, everything? The universe, our place in it.
That's the question, isn't it? For me, it just keeps coming back to how much we don't know. Like every time we think, okay, we got this, the universe throws us a curveball. And Jupiter, well, Jupiter's a pretty giant curveball.
Yeah, literally. It really does challenge, well, pretty much everything. Everything we thought we knew about planets, how solar systems form, even the possibility of life beyond Earth. It makes you rethink things.
You said earlier that without Jupiter, Earth might not even exist.
Right.
That's a lot to process.
It really is. And Jupiter, as this cosmic shield protecting us from, well, all those asteroids flying around out there, it shows how fragile we are, how fragile life is here on Earth. Makes you wonder how many other planets, right? How many are out there, maybe with our own Jupiter, protecting them?
So Jupiter might be a key ingredient for life.
Yeah.
In other solar systems, I mean. Like a cosmic guardian angel. But with, way more gravity.
It's possible.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most exciting areas of research, even now, exoplanets, planets orbiting other stars. And as we find more and more of these exoplanets, we're starting to realize how different planetary systems can be.
So many worlds out there.
Yeah.
Just waiting to be discovered.
And the study of Jupiter and its whole system, it gives us clues about what to look for, in our search for life. Like, remember those subsurface oceans on Europa and Ganymede?
Yeah.
That discovery changed everything. It's not just about, finding planets in the habitable zone anymore.
Right. We need to think, outside the box. Think about those icy moons, those places that seem, totally impossible for life. But life finds a way, doesn't it?
It does. It might be thriving in environments that we never even considered. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities. Literally.
I feel like the universe is telling us, think bigger, think weirder.
And Jupiter with its swirling storms, its powerful magnetic field, all those bizarre moons.
Yeah.
Well, it's a perfect example of just how creative the universe can be.
This deep dive, I'm telling you, it's been amazing. We've gone from, ancient astronomers all the way to modern space probes. We've talked about storms you wouldn't believe, those moons, and then, alien life in those oceans. It's incredible.
And it's just the beginning as we keep exploring this gas giant. Who knows what else we'll find out there? Things that could completely change how we understand the universe and our place in it.
I can't wait. It feels like we're barely scratching the surface here.
That's the beauty of science, isn't it? There's always more to learn, more to discover. And with Jupiter, we're not just learning about a planet, way out there. We're learning about ourselves. Our connection to everything, the cosmos.
So next time you look up, right, you see that bright light in the sky. Jupiter. It's not just a big ball of gas. It's a world of wonder. And maybe, just maybe, it holds the key to some of the biggest mysteries out there.
Keep looking up, keep exploring, and never stop asking questions.
That's it for our Jupiter Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us. And until next time, keep exploring the cosmos.